I don't go live a whole lot. I usually do the videos and upload because of time restraints, but I'm happy that you're here. Come join me, come jump in and get connected. I'm Anne. I am a coach, a leader, a guide. Um, I'm not here to fix anybody. I don't believe in people needing fixing, but we all tend to have areas in our life where we struggle. And a lot of us are functioning in survival mode, balancing a high stress position, job or business, balancing family, balancing everything else in between, and still trying to make time with friends and ourselves. And ultimately, it's ourselves that fall short. So I am here to help understand, bridge that gap, and help you navigate your own trials, tribulations, whatever it is that you're dealing with in your life at any given moment. For me, it was a constant. I was in constant survival mode. So I was constantly living in a high stress job, constantly coming home already short fused because of the stress throughout the day, not understanding how to regulate my nervous system so that when I got home, I could be calm, relaxed, and present. So I was going to work hyped because it was such high paced, high demand position that I would go to work hyped, trying to predict what was going to happen that day. And then I would come home hyped from everything that happened throughout the day. And my family got the overflow of all that stress, frustration, irritation, and exhaustion. So I was never present with my family. And this was on a regular basis. So when things were going good at work, yes, everything is good. You can come home and be with your family and have fun. But when you're in high stress all the time, that tends to take its toll. And that's where our relationships break down with our spouse, with our children, with our extended family, with our friends. And I got to a point where I personally was working so much, there was no time for friends. By the time I got home and dealt with the family and the extracurricular activities, I was done. There was no room or space for friends. So I felt myself in isolation. So if you can relate to this, please jump in the comments. Let me know what it is that you're experiencing, if you feel called to, if it's something that you don't want to put, you know, on social media. I totally get it. But notice in my little name here, there's a link here. And I want you to make note of that link because that's a community that I've built and I'm now building it. So it's fairly new, but this community is basically for people that are like me, people that I just described, because I came out of all of that. And now that I've done astronomical amounts of coaching myself, training, development, that doesn't stop. So I keep bringing it to this community. So, why would people come into the community? People come into this Annihilation Edge community because they're done living in survival mode. They're capable people. They're responsible. They're exhausted from holding everything together. They're constantly at work with their relationships, with their family, their emotions, their identity all gets trapped and hindered from the high stress and they can feel it. They know that the way they've been operating isn't sustainable anymore. This isn't a place to come be fixed, as I mentioned. It's not a place for motivation, inspiration, or to be pushed. It's a place to find regulation, to slow down the internal pressures and basically learn how to respond instead of reacting. In real life, in real relationships, and in real moments that matter. When it comes to your family, like I have a child that's neurodivergent, I really had to get present. So inside the community, people are typically looking for relief from the constant mental and emotional overload. It's a calmer way to lead, relate, and make decisions. It's practical shifts, small micro momentum shifts that actually work when life is busy and messy. It's connection with others who are like minded, competent, not broken, just stretched too thin. A steady return to grounded personal power without burning yourself out. And that's what this community is really all about. Like, I bring different teachings, different information. As I grow this community, I want to be able to even bring in guests in areas that I'm not familiar with because I don't know everything. Let's face it, we are not masters of everything. So, I have my area of expertise. So I want to be able to bring more value inside of this community so that you can learn and grow and evolve from not just me, but from others. It's a safe place. And I encourage that we do not should all over each other. What do I mean by that? Nobody should be commenting on your questions or your comments saying you should, because shoulding all over everybody is not what people want. It's like when somebody comes and shits all over you, you don't like it. So we don't should all over anybody because we typically don't like it. So I encourage members to talk from a place of experience. What have they experienced? What have they witnessed their friends experience? Because what works for you may not work for me, and what works for me may not work for you. So it's important to communicate openly, judgment-free, so that we can learn and grow from each other. Because what might not work for you, somebody else might see and it might work for them. So it's important to have that engagement, that interaction. So we are like-minded people. We're here for one purpose, one cause, and that's to help ourselves grow and evolve out of that survival mode. So that's what the Annihilation Edge community is all about. But one thing I want to teach here today, and most people don't talk about it, we don't even recognize it. It's literally in our unconscious functioning every single day. And that is the 6 human needs. I learned these from Tony Robbins. God love him. You either love him or you hate him. But this has been instrumental in my growth and in my training. I've learned from so many people, and it's important that we understand where we're coming from and where our frustrations lie and what's happening inside of our systems, our bodies. So I want to make sure that we tap into some information here. So I want to do some education, and I want to tap into some of the 6 human needs. So just to give an example, one of them is significance. We all seek significance. And remember, laws of nature, there's polarity in everything. There's good, the bad, in everything. So no matter what we do or what we have around us, there's polarity. So it's important that we understand that there's polarities with every one of these 6 human needs, and balance is key. So it's important to find the balance in every one of these 6 human needs. So let's dive in. Significance is one of them. So significance in a healthy form can look like raising our own standards, rising above and not having standards on other people, but having standards for ourselves. What are we willing to put up with and tolerate? What are our core values? How do we want to show up in the world? That's how significance can be in a healthy form, is being our own validation versus seeking it from someone else. And I got to tell you, I can talk my own personal story in every one of these, but I don't want to take up too much time. But the unhealthy version could be seeking approval from others, seeking validation from others, constantly trying to outdo someone else. That's where competition can show up in an unhealthy form, is in the unhealthy form of significance. So that's one. Number 2 is certainty. I can speak to certainty with like astronomical volume because I lived in certainty throughout the bulk of my adult life. Stuff that has happened to me personally, I found safety in certainty. So I went and took certainty to an unhealthy level where I tried to control everything and everyone around me, every circumstance, every outcome. And that's exhausting. Like, that is the description in the equation for burnout, my friends. So I took certainty to an unhealthy level, but certainty in a healthy level is being grounded. It's being confident in yourself. It's an internal power. A lot of these 6 human needs come from internal power. So certainty in a healthy level allows variety in versus trying to control it and keep it out. Because when it's controlled and kept out, life gets boring. It gets very routine. It's high stress. It's high anxiety because you're constantly trying to control and manipulate everything, whether you recognize it or not. I did not recognize it throughout most of my life. So when I became aware, keyword aware, I talk about awareness a lot, that's when you're able to make the shifts. And like anything, you can't make massive shifts early on and totally turn your life upside down because you'll never stick to it. Micro momentums, fitting things into your everyday routine and micro shifts is how you make lasting change stick. So that's what I had to do, is start figuring out, what is it that I like to do to have fun? What is it that I like to do to have some variety? Because that's the third human need, is the variety piece. And what do I need to do to be able to bring some of that variety in? So I had to find micro shifts, finding things that I enjoyed and fitting them into my everyday routine. So for me, my daughter and I joined karate. That happened after work on a schedule. I paid for it. I was committed to it. We did it. So something like that you can fit in. It may not be as big as that because that took an hour of our evening for 5 days a week, but maybe it's something smaller. Maybe it's a matter of having a date night with your partner. Maybe it's a matter of having a night out with a friend, going for coffee, going for a walk, going for a stroll, maybe starting up, a walking partner, but something small that you fit in the same time every day to make micro shifts. Maybe the meeting up is only once a week, but make it small, make it tiny. So it comes back to variety, like forms of variety that's in a healthy and unhealthy form is when variety is in balance, you have fun, you have excitement, you have joy. But when variety is on the extreme of an unhealthy form, you have chaos. It becomes to be unsafe. You start making irrational decisions and you thrive on it and you feed on it and you're just all over the map. And another one of the 6 human needs is love and connection. We all need love and connection. We all need some level of solitude as well. But love and connection is key. It's one of the 6 human needs. So, in a healthy form, you have balance in knowing, again, that internal power, who you are, and what it is that you want. It's not forcing connection. It's not being in someone's face or being overbearing. It's not constantly hanging like little kids. You see little kids sometimes hanging off their parents because they're needy. It's called neediness for a reason, because it's a need. But the unbalance is that clinginess, seeking validation, seeking that love and connection, and forcing it is the unhealthy version of love and connection. And the last two actually those are the primary human connections. The last two fall under the more of a spiritual connection. So contribution is one, believe it or not. Contribution is one of the 6 human needs. So contributing to society, contributing to other people, helping other people. So my contribution is my community. It's free. You come in, I spend my time in there. Others are spending their time in there. So us as a whole are contributing to each other and in a community. So contribution in a healthy form is, again, having that balance and contributing because you want to, because you love it and you have joy for it. But having too much of it and doing it to fulfill a need of love and connection or validation through certainty and significance, that's when contribution can become unhealthy. So giving too much of yourself where you start to burn out versus being energized. And lastly is growth. If you're not growing, you're falling behind. So growth is one of the 6 human needs. And again, this has its polarities. I can contest that I've done the extreme on this one as well. Because when you start growing and evolving and you see changes and you love it, you tend to get gravitated to it and it can become an addiction. So the unhealthy version of growth can be spending way too much money on personal development, on courses and programs to build the skills, to build, the different assets that we grow, that we can obtain as humans. That can be an unhealthy version. Diving into it so that it consumes you and you're doing too much of it. There's a balance in growth because you need to learn and then to have time to integrate and embody, so to speak. So the balanced side of growth is getting growth, but then taking time to embody it and apply it and let it have time to kick in and take hold, and then stepping into the next version. So, up leveling in increments versus just blasting yourself with constant knowledge and not doing anything with it. So, those are all of the 6 human needs. I dive into these in the community as well in a little bit more detail. Like I say, the community is brand new. So, there's only like 10 or 15 people in there as I record this video. So, come on in. I want to see 100 people in there in the next couple of months. So, come join me. If you know anybody that can benefit from this community, bring them in. This link I'll put in the description once this video is completely processed on the platform, but I'll have that in the description. But bring people into this community. This is a safe space and a place where we can nurture each other. I will not tolerate any negativity or any attacking of people, so to speak. We want to keep it respectful. There will be no disrespect inside this community. So it's important to keep it safe. It's important to keep it grounded. It's important for us to ask questions. Like if you're in a negative headspace, ask the question, I am feeling down and frustrated and irritated all the time. Can you help me unravel what's happening? Can you help me understand what's happening? That's not negativity. That's questioning for room for growth. So questions are invited. If I don't know the answers, I'll seek them out. Like I say, there's other people in the community. They can talk from their experience. It might help you, but I'm there to help you grow and evolve and help you understand the root of all of it. The root tends to come back to one or more of these human needs that I just touched on today. But this is key. This is so important. And it's so broad. Oh my God, I can't wait to dive into this community and start learning more, because as we deal with stress and we get frustrated and irritated, it impacts the things that matter most, like our relationships with ourselves, with our partners, with our children, with our friends and our extended family and our workers and business and everything that we have going on. It impacts it. So understanding how to, what Tony calls peak state, getting into peak state at any given time, being able to take a step back, take a breather, and respond versus react in emotional heightened environments. So taking that step back and analyzing and responding differently, opening yourself up to perspectives. Like these are all things that you'll learn inside the community as we go, grow, and evolve. And as I learn, grow, and evolve, I bring it to you inside that community as well. So come join me. I can't wait to see you on the inside. If you have questions, jump in. If you have questions before you jump in, DM me, talk to me. Jump in the comments if you're called to put it in the comments. If you want, DM me if you want to keep it more private. I'd love to have the conversation with you. I'd love to see you inside. I can't wait to be able to see this community grow and flourish with you in it. So take care, my friends. We'll talk again soon and enjoy your day.